Coral reefs represent some of the world's most spectacular beauty spots, but they are also the foundation of marine life. Without them, many of the sea's most exquisite species will not survive. Scheherazade Goldsmith.
Imagine the ocean losing its color. There are multiple things in the ocean that brighten and color, but one of the most common are coral reefs. But coral reefs are dying due to the warming of the planet, which is also warming the ocean. If the coral reefs die, it would also be bad for the ocean. Coral reefs only make up 1% of the ocean, but are home to more than 25% of marine life.
Algae consumes about 45 to 50% of the CO2 in the ocean, so it is a vital piece of the carbon cycle in our oceans. When the UV rays from the sun start hitting the ocean, the coral gets stressed, and therefore the coral kicks it out. It's like when you wear a sweatshirt and you start to get hot and sweaty. You would most likely take the sweatshirt off. But after you take the sweatshirt off, you are now able to get sunburned. That's what the coral is doing. It's shedding the algae like a sweatshirt. But now it can be like bleached. It is impossible to put sunscreen on coral because it's coral. So we have a solution for that.
Reef Guard, our biomimicry model, is based off of the lily pad, leaves on a tree, and the orb weaver. The orb weaver, a type of spider, can spin UV reflective webs. Just like the orb weaver's web reflects UV away from the web, there is a reflective material in our Reef Guard that reflects sun rays away from the coral. This keeps the water and coral under the Reef Guard cooler so that temperatures continue to be ideal for the growth of the algae and coral.
Our Reef Guard lilies are constructed out of translucent colored materials that include the reflective silk strands to reflect some of the sun's powerful UV rays and heat away from the coral to provide shade like a tree does in the summer heat. Of course, we have to be mindful of the color of our lily pad. The color has a lot to do with how the sun gets through to the coral to make the algae grow.
We don't want to eliminate all of the UV rays, just most of them so that algae can still go through the process of photosynthesis. This symbiotic relationship is important between coral and algae and provides the algae with a protected environment and the compounds they need for photosynthesis. And in return, the algae produces oxygen and it helps the coral remove wastes.
We anchor the Reef Guard into the coral reef by using fake coral constructed out of limestone, steel, and concrete. Our lilies don't rest at the surface. They rest right underneath the surface, just in case something floats over the top, like a small boat. We tried many different shapes for our model, but the one that worked best was flat on the top and rounded on the bottom. We chose this because, after trying a design that was completely flat, it sank to the bottom after it was completely submerged. We couldn't get it to stay buoyant, so the flat top and rounded bottom was the best choice we had. The results definitely showed the difference between having the Reef Guards and not having the Reef Guards. With our results, we can make the connection that it will help to keep the area around the ocean reef cooler and therefore help keep the area ideal for algae and coral to thrive. Reef Guard will help keep our oceans and reefs happy and healthy despite global warming and possibly help reefs grow larger so that more CO2 can be filtered out of the ocean.